Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into an explainer that literally steps right through the silver glass and into a profoundly dark philosophical fable. We're exploring the uncanny mirror universe. It's a reality that's desperately trying to die, and we're going to look at the terrifying, vibrant monster that absolutely refuses to let it.
Behold the reflection that refused to stay behind the glass. I am the shadow of the Overman, the monster who ate the spirit of gravity and found it wanting in flavor. That right there, that's the voice of our central figure. As you'll see, we aren't dealing with traditional heroes here. We are dealing with cosmic forces and existential philosophy given flesh.
Section 1. The Gray Truth. The calcified reality of the uncanny mirror. To really get this Fichtean dialectic we're going to be talking about, we first have to understand the thesis, which is this dying cosmic order.
Okay, let's dive right into this. In this realm, the thesis is a static reality governed by lords who are just obsessed with reducing life to a quiet geometric ledger. You've got Baron von Next, who curates the wreckage of failed realities, taking these complex, tragic narratives and boiling them down into polished blue gems just for his cosmic accounting. Then there's the Sovereign of Gast, who is actively trying to uncreate the world using calcified gravity. And of course, the Pale Inquisitor, smothering existence under a suffocating web of magnetic guilt. The whole overarching goal of these entities is absolute silence, just a perfectly ordered, dead universe.
Section 2. The Verdant Disruption. Enter der Grün-Güldenar. Because, a static thesis absolutely demands a violent antithesis.
And this brilliantly illustrates that antithesis. Der Grün-Güldenar's very skin is this wild, terminal synthesis of two massive, opposing forces. On one side, the Gould represents the Schopenhauerian will, that blind, insatiable, fiery drive of existence itself, showing up as tarnished gold leaf. On the other side, the Verdant represents entropic nature, the inevitable, creeping decay of the end, manifesting as emerald moss. He's literally the relentless drive to exist woven directly into the silence of death.
In a normal court, a jester speaks truth to power, right? Well, in the uncanny mirror universe, that traditional role is entirely consumed. It's replaced by this truth-telling monster, an agent of pure, vibrant chaos standing against absolute, dead order. He isn't some man in motley. He's a Gould and verdant entity determined to completely shatter the Lord's calcified reality.
Section 3. The Philosophical Core. Positing the Absolute Ich. So, you might be wondering, why can't the Lords just crush this monster? Well, the answer lies in deep existentialism.
For any students of existentialist literature tuning in, this is where it gets incredibly cool. So, the crucial point is that the Nair embodies the Fichtean absolute Ich, or the absolute I. Unlike mere mortals who need some sort of external check or validation from the outside world to realize they exist, the absolute Ich is entirely self-positing. It acts as its own friction. The Nair doesn't need the Baron's rules, the Sovereign's gravity, or the Inquisitor's guilt to define him. His existence is a sovereign act. He just is.
He dictates his own reality by sheer force of will. He's positing himself right in the middle of a dying reality, this gritty, saline nightmare, and just choosing to call it a garden.
And that brings us to Komoda. Because the Nar is a synthesis of that fiery gold will and creeping verdant entropy, he refuses to allow a quiet fade-out. Komoda is the terminal point where the observer and the observed are violently crushed together. It forces reality to scream this vibrant, destructive yes to its own end. It's embracing destruction as the ultimate act of vital energy, rather than just silently slipping away.
Section 4. Shattered Refractions. Disrupting the Lords of Mythos. Let's look at the parables that show exactly how the Nard dismantles this cosmic order, using what's known as the laughter that confirms.
I mean, just look at how rapidly the Nair ruins each lord's plan here. The Sovereign of Gast spent a decade trying to uncreate the world with calcified gravity. The Nair, he just touches it, laughs, and turns that rigid gray truth into a wild, dithyrhambic dance of vibrant energy. When the Pale Inquisitor tries to use a suffocating web of guilt, the Nair absorbs that magnetic hunger, weaving thermodynamic noise and failed hopes into this beautiful golden tapestry. He proves that the wild verdant isn't a grave, it's actually the fertile soil for a savage new purpose. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it reframes the vampire sovereign's feast. The Nar invites the vampire to a feast of saline ichor. And as the beast drinks, its terminal thirst doesn't end. It actually evolves into a mystical marriage. The Nar reframes the curse, To survive the cosmic end, the vanishing point, the soul absolutely must accept that it is simultaneously both the predator and the prey. Section 5. The broken ledger. Geometric symmetry destabilized. All of these parables lead us right to the final reckoning with Baron von Nix and the complete failure of cosmic accounting.
10. That is the number of years the Sovereign of Gas spent painstakingly forging his gray truth. And as we just saw, it took the truth-telling monster exactly one touch and a single laugh to utterly destroy it.
The visceral reality of the Nair just can't be contained. When the Baron tries to freeze him within the gravitational waves of the void ledger, the Nair's verdant, mossy side literally sprouts right through it. His metabolic fire shatters their perfect geometric symmetry entirely.
Let's move to the next slide and see how this builds, because the void ledger completely fails here. Baron von Nix tries to mathematically quantify the Nair, trying to slot him in as a silent line item, a polished blue gem of tragedy. But you simply cannot quantify metabolic fire. The sheer unbridled energy of the soul literally cracks the ledger wide open. The Baron's math fails because it's trying to finalize something that is inherently unfinishable. It proves the alphabet of reality can never be fully written nor completely erased.
And this is the ultimate lesson of the monster's parables. The universe defies logic and accounting because it's defined by its permanent incompleteness. It is wild, chaotic, and permanently, beautifully unfinished.
Section 6. Shadow of the Overman, the Grave Dance. This brings our Fichtean dialectic to its final synthesis, tying the whole grim fable back to its deeply Nietzschean roots.
We are all so accustomed to Socratic optimism, right? That comforting belief that we can find a safe harbor, a logical, neat, and silent ending. Well, the Nara explicitly rejects that. Instead, he offers the Obsidian Sea. There's no safety there, only the chaotic strength required to dance upon violent, dark waves. He's asking us to accept the destruction of our values not as some tragedy, but as a terrifying, vibrant beginning.
I am the shadow of the Overman, the monster who ate the spirit of gravity and found it wanting in flavor. I mean, what a line. He is a creature that consumes the heavy, calcifying rules of the universe and spits them back out as chaotic art. He is the golden lie that breathes and the verdant iron that bleeds.
Which leaves us, the observers, in a really precarious position. The mirror is shattered. The ledger is torn. The only sovereign act remaining is to embrace the chaos. So I'll leave you with this provocation. Will you find the strength to join the grave dance upon the Obsidian Sea? Or will you just sit in the gray silence, waiting for the vampire sovereign to grow thirsty again? Thanks for exploring this mythos with me, everyone. Keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.